So you've got everything ready. Let me just get a good look at it actually.
Looking good.
So
Looking good.
it don't look as dark as I thought it would look.
That's alright. And don't be afraid of that.
No?
This is natural. This is how it's look. It's not cooked yet. It's not baked yet. But as that is cooked and baked, it will darken up. Don't forget at the end of the process as well, we're going to add some port wine on that as well. Which is rich, red, and dark burgundy color. And that also is going to add and just bring that color together as well. So don't forget that.
Okay. So after you finish doing the mixing together of all the ingredients, making sure that it's got the right consistency, then it is over to the preparation stage before you go into the oven. And I think this is a very important phase.
Yeah, well, we heat the oven to about 180, so don't forget we did that before, so we got that going at the moment. This pan is prepared already, it's pretty much ready. I'm going to trim the edge of that after I put the cake in. But you notice I got greaseproof paper on it.
What's the importance of the greaseproof paper?
No, that's pretty important. So when you're making a black cake, it's going to be a fairly wet cake, right? But it's going to be in the oven for a very long time, and it has to cook thoroughly. You don't want to run the risk of the pan getting so hot that it causes the edges of the cake to burn. So therefore, the greaseproof paper helps separate that. So that helps that. Also, it helps when you're taking out the cake, it comes out easy and that kind of stuff, because it's going to be a fairly wet and a fairly heavy cake as well. So it helps with that process.
So you're still greasing the pan, though?
We're still greasing the pan. We've got this one, a good generous greasing of the pan. That is still very much needed. Just as if you were putting the cake straight into the pan, again, to help with non-sticking, with non-burning, that kind of stuff. Even though you're going to have your greaseproof paper, you still put your butter in there. You still grease your pan. So we still do that. So we got this one greased. We got that first one done already and prepared. We're going to do this one, and then we're going to put the cake in.
So that's pretty standard how you would just pour that into the pan.
Yeah, just pour it in. As I say, one of the things you remember when making a black cake, you notice I didn't add any baking soda because
baking powder.
Baking powder. So because we don't want it to rise the same way we do a normal cake. Black cake, you pretty much want to stay pretty flat really. But I'm using self-raising flour, so it's still gonna have that a bit of a rising agent in it, but it's not gonna rise the same as if I had put baking powder in the cake. So what I would do here now is that I put the pan up to about close to 3/4, and it will probably rise a bit, of course, because it's self-raising flour in there, but it's not going to rise as high. But close to 3/4, good depth, as you can see, it's good in there. I'll trim off this to make sure. I usually leave that to last, just to make sure that I've got enough, because the cake would obviously sink in and cause a little bit of that to fall in as well. So I'll just tidy up that as well, just make sure it's all good. But that's pretty much how it is. You just pour it right in.
All right. So this is what the product looks like before you put it in the oven. Yeah.
Very much so. So we're pretty much done, at least this phase of it. Obviously, the next phase is baking it, and fingers crossed it comes out well, and everybody can say, "Well, this fella telling me the right thing." I'm sure it will come out well. But just to recap the recipe, remember, halves. We got 2 pounds of minced meat. We got 1 pound of flour, a 1/2 pound of butter, a 1/4 pound of sugar, 6 eggs, some nutmeg, some essence, and that's pretty much what it is. That's the recipe. Follow this recipe, trust me, you will have a black cake. If it doesn't come out the way how you think it should or how you want it, you're pretty much there. Try it again, and it will happen. Don't let us making our own black cake, don't let that tradition die. Don't let that aspect of our culture die. It's great that we can buy it and source it from other places, but we can do it ourselves. Black cake is no longer taboo. Great Bajan black cake.
So this is basically the finished product coming straight out of the oven after being baked for how long?
This is straight on. This was in the oven now for just around 2 hours. You've been checking it after about an hour and a half. You've been checking it every now and then.
But what do you mean by checking?
Just to check in to make sure that it's dry. And what you want to look at is that when you go right in the center, that you come back out, nothing on it. Nothing on it. And
Cooked.
you're good.
Cooked.
Cooked.
So after baking for 2 hours,
yeah.
What is the final process then?
So the final stage is that I'm gonna let this sit for about 10 or 15 minutes just to let it, just to let it rest. And then we will add some port wine. You'll notice that we got some cracks along the top. Just to be honest, this is probably because in the initial stages we had the oven a little bit hot. And sometimes you got to take a little while to know the oven that you're using. And that's to say, 180 degrees isn't the same in every oven.
No.
Now, that sounds funny, but it is true. Some ovens, 180 is a little bit cooler or hotter than another oven. This is a new oven. We realized that pretty early though, and we turned down, but we had this crack. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's a black kit. It's going to rest and go back down. And then when you add the port wine over the top, we got some Taylors here that we bought earlier. So we got some Taylors, which is a very good brand here in the UK. And we're going to put this over the top after it's rested for about 15 minutes or so. And then we just let that rest overnight.
And this final soak with Taylors is all about...
This is all about getting that texture that you're looking at, that you're looking for. As you know, black kit is a little heavy in the middle. Now, again, like anything else, is up to you. How much you put on is up to you. How wet you want your black kit to be is up to you. But we always put some port wine over the top, and that will just give it that heavy, rich texture of a black kit. So we're pretty much there. As I said, easy recipe of halves. We've got it. We've done. You can do it. If I can do it, and I only learned to do it 1.5 years, 2 years ago, you can do it too. Black kit, no longer taboo. Get out there, start baking, and you can do it as well.
So this is the morning after.
That's right.
You've let it remain soaking overnight.
Remain soaking overnight. It's been soaking very well, so I think we're good. You see, I just took it out. See how easy that came out? Pan is completely clean, nothing at all there. You remove that, and you have a proper kit.
Wow. But the true test of whether it has worked or whether the recipe is good is the cut.
The true test is in the cut. So let's get in here. So, life. So if it don't come out good, don't worry. But there we go.
Wow.
We have a good consistency all the way through. Notice, not soggy at the bottom. Good consistency all the way through. If you want to, you can sort that some more and get some more port. You can put some rum on top of that. Get some more spirits in there, some more juice, and get it all a little bit more soggy if you want. That's up to you. Completely up to you. I keep saying all the time, black kit, up to you. Some people like it a little dry. Some people like it more moist. If you want it more moist, just put some more port wine on it. Slowly. Put it in slow. Otherwise, it'll run down the sides and up in the bottom. You don't want that, so you want to perforate the top, and then you just put it in slowly and let that seep in and go down.
So one final tip, you were mentioning to me offline about cinnamon sticks.
Yeah, we talk about getting the fruit ready and that kind of stuff. When you put the raisins and cherries, if you want that, prunes, currants, and the mixed peel. What I do when I then put that in the bottle is then I add some spice to that. So I usually add a cinnamon stick right in the middle of that, and I also add a spice stick in the middle of that, and then that will just help bring out the natural taste. Bring out the natural taste and just add flavor and just add those spices that just make it feel even better. Make it that even more tastier. And that's the journey that you're looking on if you put the cake down for a few weeks, a few months and that kind of stuff, because those spices just get into the fruit and they just add that body of taste, that everyone likes about black cake.
So that's it. The making of the black cake, demystified.
Demystified.
And
you can do it.
obviously this is Christmas and family, and as we look at family, we spend a lot of time with the children over Christmas.
Very much so. The kids are over there having a good time. It's good fun whenever we do open doors and get our kids together. When we started, there was one child, there was Kyle. Now, 6 children later, and they're all having a good time over there. And, over time, we all put our hands to a lot of different things. And Philip, who you met last night, is now an author. So here what we have is Nia and the Kingdoms of Celebration. Fantastic read, fantastic book. It's being illustrated by Sharice Harris out of Barbados as well. It's a great book, not just for Christmas. If you have, Christmas is tomorrow pretty much, so you don't have time to get it. That's all right. Go on Amazon. Just look for Nia and the Kingdom of Celebration. Philip Robinson. Good colors. Fantastic story. My daughter has one. They've read it about 2 or 3 times already. But make sure you get a copy. Fantastic read.